You know, you know how it is to take notes. You only need a few words, and sometimes I just don't do it. I just keep typing and typing the whole sentence
I tend to write too much.
All right, we're good?
Sure, why not?
I'm ready if you are.
How do you do?
Okay.
We're about to unfold the story of
Ghost of Frankenstein.
My son, would you destroy that which I, your father, dedicated his life to creating? What if it had another brain?
Whose brain?
Your brain.
Bollock! What good is a brain without eyes to see?
I warned you that you might regret this action.
Well, we've warned you.
You've been warned. Welcome back to Frankenstein Minute, the podcast that dissects the Universal Frankenstein film series minute by minute. I'm Bill Evenson.
And I'm Thom Lang, and you join us for minute 51 of 42's All New Thrills, The Ghost of Frankenstein.
That's right, Tom.
Yes, yeah. I don't know why I'm in my radio voice mode.
And no, it's perfect. This is the only way to get started. If you're joining us on Thursday, we're celebrating nothing. If you're joining us on Friday, we're celebrating nothing. If you're joining us on Saturday...
I'm not even getting out of bed, though. Fuck those.
If you're joining us on Saturday, May 11th, that's the anniversary of the release of Bride of the Monster in 1955. Probably my personal favorite Ed Wood film.
Is it?
Yeah. Is it? I gotta assume
it's
top
up,
three
it's
four,
top
you know
three.
what I mean?
What?
I know you're a Plan 9 guy, so I just didn't know.
Considering what there is to choose from, it has to be.
I guess so, yeah.
I mean, Glenn or Glenda. Yeah, you know, or Orgy of the Dead. I just picked up the Blu-ray
you said
release
it's unwatchable. Yeah.
Never since Showgirls has so much nudity been so boring.
So this is nudity what year?
It's the early 60s, I want to say.
Okay.
And he didn't actually direct it, but really doesn't make that much difference. I actually do think it might have been slightly more entertaining if he had.
Yeah.
He wrote it, however much writing there's involved in a series of strip teases. Criswell reads cue cards painfully, obviously. You got a mummy and a werewolf that I'm sure just went over to Western Costume and rented some costumes. And then just this series of strip teases that are as dull as you can imagine.
That's too bad.
Even it came out on VHS when I was in my late teens, and even then I'm like, wow, these are dull.
Yeah.
Women taking their clothes off? You'd think it's a win-win, but no.
I saw a bit of an Ed Wood movie recently. I don't know how that's possible, but I must have been flipping through, or maybe is it possible they would put one on that Universal channel? I can't imagine.
I doubt it.
But somehow I saw part of one recently, or maybe one? I just remember it. I don't even remember. But what it made me think of is I was critical of the last Wes Anderson movie, because if you're, say, Scarlett Johansson and you get a gig in a Wes Anderson movie, you are required by law to say all of your lines like this. And it's like, the Ed Wood dialogue is actually a little bit more interesting to me than her in that stupid movie that everybody loved. What was that? What was that? Asteroid City?
I liked it a lot.
I thought that some of the people in it that didn't talk like they were in a Wes Anderson movie were good. Who am I thinking of? Who's in it?
Well, Tom Hanks is in it for the first time. He was, I believe that part was supposed to be played by Bill Murray.
I think you're right, yeah.
Murray had COVID, unfortunately, and couldn't do it. Although he showed up on set after he got better, and he does do a pretty funny little kind of a trailer with it's him and I think Jason Schwartzman touring the set and stuff, and it's Bill Murray being Bill Murray, and
that's cool.
You can't go wrong with that.
Can't go wrong with that,
as far as I'm concerned.
Just like Bride of the Monster.
That's right.
Also,
it is one of my favorite Mystery Science Theater episodes.
That's why I like it. Yeah. I think it's like shooting fish in a barrel for them, which. Great.
I mean, that's perfect.
What's the problem?
They've talked about, if they do another season, which I don't know how likely that is anymore.
Right.
Plan 9 was one of the ones that they were going to do.
Oh, wow. Dracula's Daughter, also released that day in 1936, May 11th.
I just saw that.
Dracula's Daughter,
it about the Universal the Universal Horror Channel or whatever it is.
Universal Monsters, I think it's called.
30 or 40 films that circle pretty heavily.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to know, it's Evil of Frankenstein is on now, so Frankenstein will be on next, and then Bride will be on after that.
Wow.
So there's my day.
All right, well then let me quiz you. The other day I turned it on, and it was the end of Spanish Dracula. So what was next?
Son?
Nope, Dracula's Daughter.
Was it? Okay.
Which I think is a really cool transition.
It is, actually.
Because it is a sequel to a version of that movie.
Yeah.
So it kind of worked. It's kind of fun.
When they show the Mummy movies, they show them in reverse order for some reason.
I love it.
Yeah, they started with The Mummy's Curse, and then one was missing out of the 4 Karras movies. One was missing, and then they ended with Karloff, and like, okay, that's perfect.
Whatever, yeah. It's only, I suppose it's
just
going
gets
up
better.
in quality, better and better. Yeah. What else? Tomorrow is Lionel Bellamore's birthday. He is
I got a cake ordered from Ouellette's,
70 or something.
He doesn't look it.
No, he doesn't. Yeah. He doesn't look it. he looks the same as he did in Frankenstein.
Pretty much.
Tor Johnson died on May 12th as well. We hardly knew ye. Monday.
What were we watching? Shit, we were
Bride of the Monster?
No, we were watching Steiner and John and Chris and I were watching Endon, Thin Man movie. And they go to a wrestling match, and there's Tor, and he's got hair.
Oh, really?
And it took us all a second, like, that guy looks familiar. And then he had a close-up, and like, oh my God, that's Tor.
Wow, so did he? Yeah, presumably he's a wrestler?
He was.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah, he was the Super Swedish Angel or something like that.
Fun.
No, sure.
Sure. Monday is celebrating the birth of Luis Enrique Vergara. Did we already talk about him and get him wrong? Did we say he was somebody in Spanish Dracula? But
he's the producer of
the.
Did we come around that far?
Yeah,
already?
It's been a year. No, I don't think so. Maybe we talked about his death.
It's possible.
And then also the anniversary of the release of Werewolf of London.
I just saw that too.
Oh, did you?
I just have it on as I'm like preparing for this. I'll just have it on in the background.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. I can't do it when I'm preparing for this. I can do it when I'm doing
because I have the minutes on my laptop.
So you're watching 2 things at once, essentially.
Well, I can't do it in silence. I can't work in silence. I have to have
me
something.
Either. I like to put on music though.
I do put on music, but if I'm upstairs doing it, I'll just throw the TV on. If I'm down here, I'll have music.
Got it. And that's it.
That's all?
That's all I got.
Alrighty. Well,
follow us on... Oh.
Are we done?
No, we're not done. We got to keep going.
We're in the 21st minute of this scene, I believe. This has been going on for months, it feels like.
The scene of Cloestein's kidnapping?
Yeah. It just is taking place underwater.
Yeah.
Everything is so slow. And we talked about it, I believe, last week. We
mentioned it just goes on and on.
How the music is just trying its goddamnedest to make it seem exciting, and it is not.
No. I mean, it is an exciting thing that's happening. We've seen things like this before.
Surely it is. Surely it is, but
but they've drained all the excitement out of it.
It should take about half the time that it does.
Yeah, agreed. And this is all. I would say this is where it all falls apart for Husman. Wherever he is, whether he's drinking, sleeping, no matter what he's doing,
he's the worst
left
father.
An oil lamp burning in the Cloestein's room.
Yeah, and nowhere to be found.
Yep.
Meanwhile, this big goof is lumbering around, knocking shit over,
stomping around in his big old boots.
And
knocking
there's
shit
some
over.
Idiot outside playing a horn.
Yeah.
That's
true. That's true. There's any number of things that could wake a guy.
Where the hell is everybody? Yeah. In the previously on
Frankenstein Minute,
Junior saw the ball sitting on the table next to the oil lamp that we've referred to.
That's right. He's going to
go back. He picks it up by the cord that it has on it.
Yeah.
And dragging it away, it knocks the oil lamp onto the floor, which ignites the carpet.
In the script, it says that it's her. I didn't look at the script. In the script, the only thing is it says that her loose blankets knock it over, and it might even be that in this case. I didn't look.
No, it is the ball.
It is definitely
the ball.
All right. Yep.
And
I gotta get that.
It's actually staged fairly well for that kind of a thing where something has to happen.
Like a Rube Goldberg contraption.
Exactly. And oftentimes in movies it looks so contrived that...
That's a good point.
This doesn't look that way. To his credit, Chaney pulls it off without...
That's true.
Okay, I gotta... it's not like that Tales of Frankenstein or whatever it was. No, Tales of Tomorrow, the Frankenstein, the live one.
Where he puts the chair down gingerly.
He thought it was a rehearsal.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's not as bad. I think we've talked about it many times. It's not as bad as history has made it out to be.
In fact, I can't remember if it was after we had the conversation, but I did go and watch it, and I didn't even really remember that part where he just puts the chair down.
It's so minor.
I think I must have noticed it at the time, but
it's so minor in the scheme of it that
not that big a deal.
Not that big a deal. Yeah.
It would be very clever of Junior to note that the place is going to burn down and go, "Oh, this will be perfect." Then they won't realize
think I was here.
Yeah, they won't think I was here. Yeah. I don't think that.
And you think, Igor would probably think that's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But he doesn't seem to notice it's on fire.
So basically, if Igor had been let in on the plan, it would have gone the same. He would have knocked over there's a good idea.
Set this fucking place on fire.
Yeah.
They'll never know you were here.
Fucking Hostman.
Never know you were here.
There you go.
As the first, that's the rug ablaze as the monster lurches out of the room with Chloe.
Yep. He's going to be holding on to her for a while.
For quite some time.
Yeah, for a few more weeks.
Yeah, that's a long time.
But as we talked about last week, well, I guess we're still talking about the same thing as last week. Yeah, there's
yes,
nothing
we
to
are.
add.
And the week before, I think.
Yeah, he gingerly picked her up. He's good with kids. He's a gentle giant.
Well, and we talked about how Lon himself was considered good with children.
Right.
She had nothing but good things to say about him.
Yep.
Unlike Evelyn Ankers, who had nothing but bad things to say about
him.
He carries her for quite a while now, and I'm assuming there must be some kind of a strap or something to help.
Oh, I never thought of that. Because I noticed that the more you look at it,
because he had a thing for carrying Evelyn around, a strap, because she was not a little child.
Right.
She was a full-grown adult. So,
yep.
And in some of the Mummy movies, it's painfully obvious. You can actually see the clip
strap
and the buckles, and
I'll have to look for that.
And you can see that it's more than likely not Chaney as well.
Okay.
Thinking those last couple,
he's doing less and less.
He's less and less. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a quick lap dissolve.
Oh, all right. Welcome back.
Yep. We've had those crossfades for a while. Now we're back with the lap, the very short one.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's an exciting scene.
Rips Norton here, yeah.
And it's, we got to get to the next place. It's chop.
Let's go here.
Yeah.
Kenton's like,
it's not like the night goes by or anything.
Right. We got to move this thing along, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Got to get this thing in the can and out by Christmas.
Yep.
Junior, Igor, and Chloe enter the same door as when he killed Kettering.
Yeah, it looks like it.
It's the same place, yeah. And almost killed Elsa.
Yeah, it makes sense that's where that is.
I think that is, yeah.
It's just like a side door that
So
only monsters
it looks like he
use.
just kicks it open and then it sort of bounces back and Igor gingerly closes it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, kind of.
That's funny. I didn't notice that.
He lumbers past Bomer, who's still in this movie after being absent for
completely...
like 40, 50 minutes. I don't know. He hasn't been in here for a long time. Or referred to.
Right.
With all the shit going on, the police are tearing the place apart looking for Kettering. Who fucking cares about Kettering?
Who cares
Where's
about,
Bomer? That guy's the one to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. You'd think.
And I just found it odd that he's never once referred to.
No.
All of that.
No, he doesn't say anything about. Well, we talked about that last week, though. I think
we talked about it a few weeks.
A few weeks ago. Yeah, I suppose because we've been in
Cloestein's
bedroom.
Mired in
as inappropriate as it may sound, we've been in Cloestein's bedroom for 2 or 3 weeks.
For weeks now.
Like a Robert Downey Jr. style. Whatever. No one's going to even know what that means. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
When he was in his drug-taking days, he was found in his neighbor's daughter's bedroom.
Yes.
Just sleeping.
Yeah.
Sleeping off. Yeah. And now he's an Oscar award-winning actor. He got points on those Avengers movies, and then all of a sudden they became the biggest movies ever.
Yeah.
And then he got out.
Yeah.
And now, so he's doing really, good for you. But he's also Sherlock Holmes. I can't imagine watching those.
Oh, I tried to.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
We're one left on the Rathbone Bruce ones.
Okay. Yeah.
Boy, they look good on that Blu-ray set.
Yeah.
Man, compared to what I used to watch, those shitty public domain speed up 16 millimeter
later
print.
3 or 4 of them. It's funny because in my mind they still seem to occupy a bigger. I don't know why this would be, but like a bigger field of time because the quality was so different. If that makes sense, I'd be like, oh, this must be a newer one. That kind of thing in my head. Like this must just be something they found in a cave in Czechoslovakia, and probably was because maybe. I don't know why else it would have looked so shitty. But some of them were so shitty you could barely see them.
Because they fell into public domain for some reason.
Well, that's true. That never helped.
And so what you were seeing, oftentimes was a copy of a copy of a copy.
Yep.
And the worst possible transfer even when they showed them on Channel 5 here at Sunday nights after World at War,
Yep.
they were pretty rough looking. And then God help you if you rented them on VHS back in the day, because, they looked like shit.
They were available for rental on VHS?
They were on VHS, yeah.
And looking like shit?
Looking
that
like
sounds
shit,
really
yeah.
disappointing. Was it like in a cheap
No, it was
wall,
the same company.
like a buck?
No, it was the same company that put them out on the Blu-ray.
Oh, really?
They've just been restored, and they put the Universal logo at the beginning. And I did notice the last one didn't have the buy war bonds thing at the end of it because it was 1946.
Okay, yeah, they weren't selling.
They weren't
as well.
selling those.
In 46. They still not.
No. Yeah. All right. So Bomer is in the movie. He runs over to Igor and asks him,
"Are you mad?"
Quite reasonable question.
Yeah. Are you mad?
Yeah.
And Igor says, "I'm not mad, just disappointed."
That's right.
I was gonna do his voice, but I figured I couldn't pull it off.
Should we do that again?
Are you mad?
No, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yep. Why did you let him get away? Which is an interesting thing.
Let him? What the?
Well, I like that.
Look
But
at
first
that.
of all,
Look at
why did you let him get away instead of where'd you guys go?
Where were you?
Like, where were you? Yeah. Exactly. So he's already kind of, but I guess he turns out to be right. And you're right. I really like let him. I just like let him.
Let him?
Let him?
Look at the guy.
Look at him. Look at me.
Yeah.
So then he says,
let him. You think I had any idea what he was going to do?
Or that I could stop him?
Or that I could stop him.
In my mind, it should be the other way around. It should be let him. You think I could stop him? Or that I had any idea what he was going to do?
Yeah,
but actually, as it turns out, and here we go again, it is in the script. This is the way it is.
That's the way it's in the script?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's almost word for word.
Oh, really?
But it's not word for word, which is a nice statement about Lugosi being able to be an actor and not have just read the line that was given to him, which is what we've accused him of doing so much.
Sometimes, yeah. And then sometimes it is obvious that's what he's doing, but...
Yeah,
there are instances where he has elevated the material.
Right, and I
think some of those Poverty Row movies, they're
well, and right here he is,
and here too. Yeah,
let him. He's in the scene.
Police have searched the place for him, says Bomer. Yep.
So Bomer was there when that happened.
He was there, but was he? I mean, maybe he was hiding. Like, oh shit!
I guess the script. I don't remember anything in the script about that.
No, he's not mentioned at all.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe Pinky was busy or something, but
nope.
He's just not
there.
He's got another hole. Well, we are about to see a new room in a few weeks.
He's not
spoilers.
Yeah. Maybe he was out looking for the monster too.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
The police have searched the place for him. That it is good that we were gone. That explains where they were while Eric was looking around for him.
Yes.
Which is nice because we were asking that question kind of tongue in cheek.
At this point, I don't know if I would have guessed that anyway, but you're right. It is nice to have it spelled out.
Yeah.
And I remember that one in particular in the script said, then it is well that we were gone. Mm-hmm. So Lugosi probably did it better.
Yes.
I don't know what's grammatically correct. I guess good. It is good that we were gone. Yeah, he's actually right.
Yeah. That's probably why he changed it.
That's probably why he changed it.
Yeah, I mean, all the stories, and Karloff himself perpetuated some of it about Lugosi not learning English or not understanding.
Yeah.
That's another thing that's been greatly exaggerated over time, and evidence doesn't always bear it out. Yes, I think there were certain vernacular that he didn't get, or certain what's the word?
Titties?
Yeah, that he didn't.
I got nothing.
Okay. Anyway,
alliteration.
Certain phrases and stuff.
Spoonerism.
Yeah. There's certain phrases and things that.
Well, the one I always think of for some reason is now that you have learned what you have learned. It's just like you're not really getting the phrase. It's somebody's trying to make a phrase here, and it's not.
It's not. Yeah.
That's not how you would. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot of evidence of that in like Black Friday, where he's playing a role he had no business playing.
Yep.
So anyway.
I don't remember that particular, but I don't remember it being very good.
Yeah. Frankenstein's been half insane.
He's been flitting all over the place like a ballet dancer.
Yes. And he almost showed some expression on his face.
He almost raised an eyebrow once. It was awful. We'll have to keep an eye out, actually, and see just how half insane Ludwig is when we see him next.
Yeah.
Because you got to think this has been very tough on him.
He's approaching wolf levels.
Yeah, that's true. He's going to be
energy.
He's going to be screaming when we see him next. No doubt about it.
He wants to operate tonight.
We already did.
Yeah, we knew that.
Yeah, that's not. It works. I get what he's saying.
Well, what he's saying is.
Well, maybe he could say it differently. Is
he wants to operate tonight?
Oh, that's true. That would work. But I was going to go the other way and say he definitely wants to operate tonight because it looks like we don't have much time before we get caught. I mean, that seems to be the incentive here.
Yes.
Which is not a good incentive. And
there's never a good incentive.
There's no good reason to be doing any of this.
No.
It's a terrible idea.
He wants to operate tonight. The child complicates matters.
Yes.
The child complicates matters in that it's a plot contrivance. It's a little bit of padding. I don't think it adds a whole lot of emotion to the story, really. It's just...
That's interesting.
It just always seems to me that it's been stuck in just to kind of...
Give him something to do.
And, give it this false sense of urgency because then she's sort of forgotten for a while.
Yeah, she's
here throughout the...
Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves. But I hadn't thought about that, actually. Because it does feel like when you watch it once, I guess, or if you just watch it straight through, sometimes it has its momentum of it, and there's just brains all over the place. I want this brain, it's my brain, and your brain, and all the brains. And I think, well, how about this little girl's brain? All right, we'll give you that one.
We haven't got to House of Frankenstein yet.
That's right.
Exactly. Brains are popping all over the place.
Brains are popping.
And it's not like the urgency of Carl has Elizabeth in a cave somewhere. She'll meet a terrible end if you don't cooperate.
That's true.
There's urgency to that. There's not, and even Peter being kidnapped by the monster towards the end of Sun. There's a little bit of urgency, though we do want to see him chuck him into the sulfur pit.
I think you'll find in a few weeks there is a bit of a payoff to Clostein now being missing.
A little bit,
but
I mean, it's a plot contrivance to set things in motion.
Yeah.
Later on.
Maybe they just were like, well, Chaney likes this little... No, I guess it's in the script, so probably not.
It is in the script, yeah.
Chaney seems to get along with the little girl. Let's bring her in.
Throw her in.
He can swing her around a couple times.
Leave that to me. Yeah, what could go wrong with leaving Igor?
Actually, I forgot to write this down. That's where the subtitles say "leave that to me," but he actually says "oh, leave that to me," which is not a big deal. But when he first starts to say it, it sounds like he's going to go, "Oh, shut up." As he says, "Oh, leave that to me."
Wine.
Go ahead.
Jesus.
Yeah, why couldn't Kettering? Why couldn't I work with Kettering?
Take a chill pill.
Chill pill, won't you?
He'll have to be told. Igor will explain to him.
Yep.
I guess so.
Yeah, we'll see how well that goes. That should be good.
That'll pay off real well, yeah.
Yeah, I guess he needs to be told.
if anybody, though, could quote, reason with Junior, it would be Igor.
Yeah.
I don't think Bomer's going to get through to him. And certainly Ludwig.
I think it's...
Although later, coming up, Ludwig does in a weird way.
That's just it. I think what we're left with when the two Igor films, the Igor duology, what would you call that?
I don't know.
Their relationship is one that stays intact, wherein Igor can explain things to the monster in a way that doesn't even really seem to resonate on screen. Sometimes we don't understand why is he. I get that, but he doesn't get what this other person says.
Yeah,
because we're going to see in the coming weeks people trying to communicate with him, and I don't even understand what the fuck's going on sometimes. I don't get it.
Yeah. So then Junior lumbers up to the lab door and looks in. There's a close-up looking through the door out at him and Clostein, and she does the little Groucho eyebrows.
Yeah.
Boy, which is very, very adorable.
Yes. I think that it's pretty great. That's whether there's any good reason to have her even in the movie, it's pretty great to have a shot like that.
Yeah.
Like we have that now where the little girl does her eyebrows. But it just the whole thing, like, oh, she's looking through the window too, like, oh yeah, let's look at the window.
She it's not like it's out of character or out of place.
Yes.
She's like, oh, look at that. What's in there?
What's in there? Yeah.
You're talking about swapping brains?
Well, we haven't gotten there yet. Or did we? I don't know.
No.
My notes are decidedly incomplete.
Oh, so are mine. No, not yet. Igor approaches. We get one no in the subtitles, but he does say two.
Okay.
No, you do not.
You do not on.
And then it's the...
That's it.
Yep. All right. Got any more questions, wise ass?
All right, well, that's all we got from us. But don't stop the podcast now, because it's time for Got Any Wise Ass Comments, Wise Asses, brought to you by Patreon. Patreon.com. Patreon.
Be brought to you by Geritol and
Ovaltine.
Doan's pills for nagging back.
Doan's pills. Let's see here. Boy, there's a lot of comments on this one.
Oh my God!
I'm all thrown by the fact that
for this minute specifically,
that these comments are from April. So there's a part of me that's like, well, that was a long time ago.
It was actually 3-4 days ago.
Yeah, so that's what these are. All right, Will, and I'm going to go in an order that I think is right, but I don't know if I'm doing this right. In fact, I'm not going to do that order. I've changed my mind. I'm going to say Vincent Hanam from the
Camp Kaiju podcast
writes, The Adventures of Bomer and Igor. There's kind of a thing between them. Yeah, because the way the conversation in this minute in particular takes place, it is sort of like, why did you do that? What are you, there's kind of like, we got a plan here. And there is some stuff in the script coming up I've forgotten. I guess maybe I did find a lot of stuff in the script. Okay. In a couple of weeks, there's even more of that that didn't get filmed. But there is a real sense of they've made their plan together. Mm-hmm. It's like Hitler and Mussolini. They don't like each other, but God damn it, they're going to stick this thing out. He never turns on Mussolini, so there you go.
So which one is which here?
Oh boy,
I would have to say Bomer's probably Mussolini,
just because he's not Hitler and Igor is Hitler. I guess that's good enough reason. Yep, that'll do it. I was going to say the other way around because Mussolini, but they were both kind of dopey, to be honest. They're both really stupid to think they could pull that off.
Fuckheads, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe you're right. We'll go with Bomer. Yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
Who cares?
Well, spoiler alert: Bomer will be hanging upside down, being pelted with garbage coming up
soon. Mike Herman writes, the moments with Igor and Bomer conspiring are all too brief.
Okay, well, I couldn't agree more.
The movie needs much less Ralph Bellamy.
Yes, it could be no Ralph Bellamy, because I don't like him in this. I don't like him in The Wolfman either. He's kind of an asshole in both of them. Basically the same part.
Yeah.
And he's just not likable, which is weird because Bellamy himself is a likable guy.
Yeah.
And generally, when he did the screwball and romantic comedies and things, he's very likable. I mean...
Right. Well, what I would say, one of the things is, these movies have a certain atmosphere. Still, even at this late in the series, there's still a certain atmosphere that indicates that you're in a Frankenstein movie. And there's always some asshole. You got a guy up on the wall over there. Bowles was the guy who didn't seem like he was in the Frankenstein movie. You know what I mean? And there's always Peter doesn't seem like he's in the Frankenstein. There's always one or two.
Who in Bride doesn't feel like they're in a Frankenstein movie? I don't think anybody in Bride does.
Tell you what, pal. Maybe I'll tell you next time we don't do. What does he say? Isn't that
we turn
Dwight Fry?
In.
We turn ourselves in. That scene may be the only one.
Oh, I don't agree. I think it's a funny line.
Okay.
We let him hang.
I guess I had to come up with something, and that's the first thing I thought of.
I mean, if you had to pick something.
Yeah, I had to pick something. Movie could do with less Ralph Bellamy. Well, I guess just to finish that up, when we first see him, he's like, well, hello, Elsa. It's like immediate. Like, he's too American. He's
far too American, and that's what happens with these films is, starting with Son, you lose sort of that European Germanic flavor that the Lemleys had, and that whale intensified. Yes. Sure. So that's gone in Son.
Yeah.
Nothing about it other than the sets and some of the terminology makes you feel like you're in a European country, really. Just the look of it. But other than that, Wolf and the family are so American.
Yeah, they are.
And that, for me, is one reason I don't care for it as much.
Yeah. Well, they're also contemporary, so I don't know if it's both or...
That might have something to do with it,
too. And Wales films felt more out of time.
Yeah.
Like, I've got this electrical machine.
Yeah. No, it's great, because, they exist sort of in this netherworld that... Thank God they don't talk about the Nazis in World War II, because that would have really fucked it up.
Yeah. Like the Sherlock Holmes series.
2 or 3 films, and then they're like, you know what, that doesn't work, and they stopped doing it.
Although I noticed the other day I was looking for something, and I noticed that on IMDb, some of those heavy World War II Sherlock Holmes films get really good ratings. So people still like those movies.
Yeah.
So I think there's a part of me that's like, maybe I should rewatch those, because I haven't in a long time.
Yeah, they're good. They're very entertaining. Plus, you see...
Well, in particular, the ones ones that do take place during the war. Like, what is it? Voice of Terror
in Washington.
And then it's not so heavy after that.
No,
I guess, right?
I think those are the two.
Or maybe it goes away.
Those are the
altogether.
two. Yeah, the third one there's a little bit, but yeah, pretty soon it's not talked about at all.
Yeah,
which is wise.
Very.
And watch them because you'll see people that we've talked about, like Olaf Huyten, Husman. Pops up in every single one of them. We're talking
and in every one, he's got a daughter, and he leaves her, and she's on fire. She gets started out on fire.
Leyland Hodgson, the constable that we were, he's in all of them.
Hodgsy.
Yep. Oh, it's funny because I was watching the KTMA episodes of Mystery Science Theater.
Okay.
And he went by Joel Hodgson in that.
That's right, he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a couple times Tom Servo calls him
Hodgsy?
Haji. Yeah.
That's cute.
Yep.
The movie needs much less Ralph Bellamy, continues Mike Herman, and far more Lugosi and Atwill being mischievous together.
Absolutely right.
This is
absolutely
it's
right.
great that
100%.
Everybody seems to be on that same page. Mm-hmm. Good. Will Hohenstein writes, I like how Janet Ann Gallo glances up at Cheney for half a second while they're peering through the window. I like that too. I did notice that. She does a quick look up at him.
Yep.
Or is it that same whatever?
No. She looks in and raises her eyebrows.
That's right.
Yeah. So they're two different.
Will
same
continues.
Shot, though.
Will continues. I bet she smelled the liquor on him.
Ooh.
Mike Herman responds to Will, which we don't discourage.
No, not at all.
You want to have a conversation without it.
Conversation without us. We're less work that we have to do.
Less work for us. I sort of wondered that myself. With Lon Jr., there's definitely a thin line between legitimately discussing if his alcoholism is viewable on the screen or beating the dead horse and seeing it everywhere in every Lon Chaney Jr. movie. Janet Ann Gallo never said anything like that and had nothing but positive things to say about Chaney, so hopefully he behaved and sobered up around shooting the scenes with kids.
I've read a couple interviews with her. She never said a bad word about him.
Yeah, that's true.
And yes, I think we tend to, we being you and I, and we being monster kids and Universal horror fans, tend to play that up a little more than is necessary.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of it as anybody else.
Yeah.
And yes, he had a real problem.
Right.
It's tragic, and he had a terrible life.
Yep.
So some of it is understandable.
Well, here's Will responds. All jokes aside, I'm sure you're right. Chaney struggled and had his faults, but he seemed a good man.
Yes.
He obviously cared much for Janet if he wanted to adopt her. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I just hope the story about him sipping vodka through a straw while staggering around as Karis is true, because that's kind of hilarious.
Well, there I think the films bear it out. The shots where Chaney, I would think he needed a little something to get through it.
I got to be honest, there's nothing going on in this movie that would discourage it. You know what I mean? There's no... good luck pointing to a scene in this film and saying, see, a drunk couldn't do
that, yeah.
Although you did just compliment his physical performance in this minute. So
yes.
There you go. Maybe I need to lighten up. Have a drink.
I think have a drink.
All right.
That's that?
I think that's that. We got enough
please.
Content? All right, well then, congratulations to whoever won the Rondo.
Wasn't us.
Wasn't us. We did get an honorable mention.
Well, we
finished in the top 8 again. I don't know.
Out of 8?
Yeah. Every time they've done honorable mention, there's been a name mentioned after us. Yeah. So I guess maybe we'll just, gloat.
I sincerely hope that next year they have a category for the most times nominated without a chance in hell of ever winning. That's a shoo-in for us.
The what's her name award from the prime or the daytime Emmy, whoever it was.
Oh yeah, where that actress that
she was nominated 16 times before she finally won or whatever.
That'll be us.
That'll be us. All right. Goodbye. You know what? Follow us on, join the Facebook group. Join the Frankenstein Minute Village on Facebook. You look like you were going to stop it. Like, no, don't do that. I'm just going to cut this out.
Yeah, no, that's snip, snip, snip.